All right, it's time for Random Rambling Wednesday.
No, is it Wednesday?
It is Wednesday, my dudes. Oh, man, I was going to get that It's Wednesday, my dudes intro that you didn't really seem to like that much.
No, that guy gets on my nerves so much.
It does not. You like it.
No, I really don't.
Well, we'll agree to disagree on that. My name is Justin.
And mine's JP.
And we are the Podcasting Dead. If you are a fan of podcasts in general, please consider hitting that subscribe button. And even if you don't, maybe help us out and hit that like button. The like button always helps us, apparently, with YouTube and SoundCloud and other sites' algorithms in order to suggest us to other people. And we are about to get into this. But before we do, JP, tell them a little bit about that Patreon.
Well, there should be a link, and if the link doesn't work, because sometimes it gets a little funny, you can go to patreon.com/thepodcastingdead. Contribute, it all goes into the podcast, and you'll be entered in to win a pretty groovy prize pack.
Pretty groovy. So, yeah, just search for the Podcasting Dead on Patreon if the link doesn't work. And if you don't contribute, it's okay. We still love you.
Yeah, we're still going to have stuff to give out. And also, there's exclusive content that you can only see on the Patreon.
Which brings us to the start of this podcast. Ooh. So we've been doing Random Ramblings Wednesday for months and months now. It hasn't quite been a year yet, has it?
I don't think so. Ooh, excuse, I'm very gassy this morning.
I see. My God. And also, content warning. This is the one unfiltered podcast in which the F-bombs may fly, the sexual innuendos are going to get even more graphic. Basically, JP just comes a little unchained here.
Sometimes.
But so, you've been warned. But so, Random Rambling Wednesdays has been going for a while. And what we're thinking about doing is, since the conversation always seems to end up steering toward conspiracy stuff, I think starting next week, this will become Woke Wednesday, where we're going to talk about conspiracy theories and all of that. And it'll be similar to Random Ramblings Wednesday. I mean, it'll, be more of a conversation than like a presentation. But it'll be definitely more conspiracy inspired. But Random Rambling Wednesdays is moving to the Patreon.
Yeah. So,
It'll be like a cocktail after hours. Like, we promise to have a beer. And we're going to sit down and talk, and we'll try. I mean, if it goes to conspiracy, it'll go to conspiracy. But we'll try to have more generic. Well, I don't want to say generic. I never like the term generic. More organic conversation that's not necessarily about anything in particular, just what's been going on with our week, what's been going on with the listeners, things like that. So make sure you check that out. And don't forget with Patreon, if you've never used Patreon, you can donate whatever you want. You can donate $1, you can, whatever. So there's always that option. But JP, man, what's been going on in your life?
Yeah, same old, man. Just, trying to keep my head up.
How's the wife?
I ain't got one of those. I got
not yet, but you're on your way.
Tenant, But
she just rents from you?
More or less. We have a trade system in place. So
you bought her for her spot in your bed?
Yeah, more or less. But no. We'll see how that goes.
So we want your opinion on something, and you tell me what you think. JP and I were talking about it. I showed him this earlier. I found it online. So there's this woman that photobombed this family. I'm pulling up the full scoop now, so I make sure I give you all the details and everything. But this woman, she flashed a family. They were out on a vacation, and she photobombed them. Let's see. Where is this photograph? Oh, okay. All right, so let's get the details real quick so I don't tell you anything wrong. So this is from ABC 13. A woman was in Texas with her family on Monday, and they had gotten together because Monica's husband's grandma just passed away, and the trip to the park was in her honor. And when they were posing for a picture, a woman snuck in and photobombed by flashing her boobs. And when Monica started going through the photos and saw the woman, she was outraged. She says, you can see the woman's, quote, boob, nipple, everything. And we're trying to recreate memories. Having some chick's boobs isn't allowing us to do that. Now she's spreading the photo around, trying to identify the woman and wants to turn the woman over to the cops. Am I the only one? I mean, because if you look at the photo, it's easy to crop her out. You know what I'm saying? It's not like she's even, ruin the photo. I mean, with just a common smartphone. I don't know. And maybe it's because I'm a dude and it was a girl doing it. Maybe I would feel differently if there was a dong hanging out. I don't know. But I just feel like while it's okay to be mad about that and it's okay to not be happy about that, trying to get her arrested for it, I just feel is a little bit too far. Like, you can just crop that out, but it might be, maybe I'm an ass. What do you think? I mean, you saw the photo. I mean, actually, if you want to look up the photo, it's completely uncensored and you can see the woman's boobs. They're not bad. But you can see them in the picture, but you can crop her out. You know what I'm saying? What do you think?
I mean, I think it's a big waste of everyone's time involved, law enforcement, if they got involved.
I mean, people are out murdering each other, and we're upset over a boob.
Yeah,
and it's actually a boob. Like, I don't think it's a set. I'm pretty sure I just saw it was like one boob from the side.
Yeah,
but,
some people just need something to get pissed off about.
I mean, back in the day, people would remember when you had those little disposable cameras, and you took a picture, and then when you got those developed, and Ryan was mooning you in the background of your senior, pictures out front of the high school. You were stuck with it unless you wanted to take scissors and cut him out. You know what I mean? Like, you can take this on your phone and easily crop this woman out and move along. You know what I'm saying? If you want to post about it and be like, I think it's BS that people do this. You never know what kind of photos people are taking. And this person that woman probably didn't know they were honoring a dead relative. She probably just thought they were taking a picture. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
And she stood far enough away from the family that it wasn't like she sexually assaulted anyone by touching them with her boobs. She was far away, and you can crop her out.
Yeah, dude, they're just being cunty, man.
Cunty.
Yeah, they're being very cunty, and believe me, I know cunty. I deal with it all the time.
What, at your other job?
Yeah, just life, man.
Life is cunty.
If we could, people compare the detainment camps at the border to concentration camps. If we could round out one group of people and put them in a center, man, the cunts of the world would be in there. Believe me. A
concentration camp.
Yeah, thank you. A concentration, yes.
I'm sorry. That's not to make light of concentration camps.
No, of course. I never trivialized the Holocaust.
Right, no.
But, yeah.
But I don't know. Like I said, I feel like I would feel the same way if it was a dong. I mean, the kids didn't even see it, though. That's the thing. It's not like somebody flashed them in the way like she ran out and showed the boobs to the kids. She was behind everyone and just took it from out behind a rock. They didn't even see it until they were going through the photos.
Yeah, but a dick is way more obtrusive. I mean, you can rape somebody with a dick. You can't rape anybody with boobs.
That's society's perception of the male genitalia, though, is that it's more taboo than boobies, I feel. I
mean, but like I said, I mean, you can rape someone with a dick. You can't rape somebody with tits.
I mean, you could sexually assault someone with tits.
Yeah, but you're not going to get up in somebody's
There's one woman who can crush cans with her boobies.
Oh, man.
Have you not seen that?
I've never seen that.
She can crush cans and break watermelons with her boobies.
Golly.
So, but no, I mean, I just feel like even if it were the opposite end of the spectrum and it was a dong, I mean, I would be mad. I'd be like, who the fuck would do that? But I'm not going to go online and try to get them arrested for it, which then again, I would... You know what? Let's not say dong, though, because, if we're saying boobs, if we're comparing men to females, I feel like boobs would be like a man showing his ass, right? Like mooning.
Yeah.
And a vagina would be like showing a penis. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, in this instance, it's not even like a dong. This would be like a guy mooning someone, because we don't really have boobs to flash anyone with. But a guy mooning someone, if I took a family photo and a guy was mooning off in the corner and I could easily crop him out, yeah, I'd be like, what the hell, man? What an asshole. But I would just crop it and move on. I wouldn't try to have him arrested. I mean, we all do things that we think we regret. I mean, 10 years from now, we might look back and be like, God, I can't believe I mooned that family. I mean, who gives a damn?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So maybe comparing the boobs to a penis was a bad idea. Maybe we compare the boobs more equivalent of a man mooning. And then if you was to flash her hoo-ha, it'd be kind of like flashing a ding-a-ling. But
yeah. I don't know. Like I said, some people just need something, some war to fight, something to be pissed off about.
Yeah, they do, man. Some people are not complete unless they're off seeking justice for something.
Oh, yeah, man. We all have people like that in our lives that make mountains out of molehills just to have something to bitch about.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. So you wouldn't seek any kind of legal counsel for that?
Jesus. Like I said, the law enforcement has more important stuff to do than, deal with flashers. So,
but yeah, I don't know, man. So what's going on in the conspiracy world? I need to get more conversation out of you this morning.
Yeah, man. I'm sorry. I'm just in a different.
Put your phone down, and you won't have to.
Well, no, I was actually looking into something that you had brought up earlier about the Josh Berry talked about the nuclear hoax, and that's something I haven't looked into hardcore, but I am familiar with it.
Well, I've got a computer right here. It'll be a little bit faster. Give me something to look up, and we'll pull it up and see.
Well, no, I've got it pulled up right here.
Okay, so first off, before we go, how about this? Being that it's mail call,
Well, being this is that for mail call?
No. I was gonna say, being that it's not technically a mail call question, it was more a comment on a video. This isn't really like him ask. Mail call is more for when you ask us a question. This guy made a statement, so let me read that, and then JP, you kind of fill us in on what he's talking about.
All right.
Let's see. Let's open this. All right. Always weird hearing yourself like, oh, we were not happy about All right. So Josh Berry says, let's find it. All right. Josh Berry says, I can't take this ridiculous nuclear radiation propaganda. It's a total hoax. Look up a man named Galen Windsor to get the truth about radiation. These nuclear plants are just water boiling plants, and the danger is just a pressurized blowout. I've lived next to a power plant my whole life. There is no fallout, another government lie to control power. It's not a coincidence that Chernobyl and Fear the Walking Dead are at the same time, and there is fear-mongering on the news about Iran, North Korea, and nuclear war scare. It's all fake. Don't take my word for it. Look up this guy, Galen Windsor. So, JP, you said you don't know much about it, but you read a little bit about that before.
Yeah, man, I've heard it brought up in podcasts and stuff. But yeah, if this is the same guy I've seen, I mean, he straight up goes to nuclear power plants and he'll swim around in the reactor.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, with no negative results. And I've also heard that nuclear bombs, the reason that they were only used once is because they don't actually exist. And I found an article on it, and just.
So what was the nuclear? Was it just a big bomb, basically? It wasn't a nuclear bomb?
Yeah, well, I haven't fact-checked this article, but it basically goes on to say the original newspaper release was that Nagasaki and Hiroshima were firebombed like Tokyo, and it was only later that the story of the A-bomb surfaced. All brick buildings were left standing, including the Bank of Japan, which is still in use today. No residual radiation. No A-bombs have ever been used, even during the Vietnam War, where every other despicable weapon was used, including chemicals. The USA lost this war. No dictator or mad leader has ever used nuclear weapons. All photos and film of atomic explosions are easily proven fake. And he gives a website, mileswmathis.com/Trinity, blah, blah, blah.
And this is who? With article? Where's this article that you're reading from?
It's from a website, Logically Fallacious. Fallacious. Yeah, Logically Fallacious. Again, I haven't fact-checked this, but and it says various scientists have shown the actual mechanics of an A-bomb are not workable, and gives another link to that. The atomic bomb hoax was thought up by the USA, Russia, and UK. After World War II, various other countries have been led into the hoax. The idea is to keep the masses in constant fear. And I have heard this, like basically it's to keep, basically to keep another world war from brewing, just because now it's basically the Dr. Manhattan kind of thing. Like now there's this ultimate power that we have, we can unleash. So, everybody better stay in their corner.
So it's just kind of keep us, more or less to keep us afraid of our government even more. Right?
Yeah. And like I said, to, just this way we can move wars to these little third world countries, so you don't have like Russia bombing U.S. or, stuff like this. Basically just keeps the fight in the third world instead of the first world.
No, I'm open. I mean, I totally believe in fear-mongering and things like that. I mean, government tactics to keep people in check and yada, yada, yada. I mean, because at the end of the day, people don't realize it, but, we have a lot more potential than they think in terms of, our government knows it. It's like, that's why it's so long. It seems like they want to disarm people at such a rate, and I've heard this theory. I'm not saying I necessarily believe it, but it does make sense. If I told you, JP, you're going to be a shepherd, do you want to be a shepherd of sheep or do you want to herd wolves?
Yeah.
You're going to pick the sheep. So, it's that so of course, with the government, with us, it's like, man, we want to keep them as in check and defenseless as we can, not necessarily to like herd us into FEMA camps and exterminate people, but just, if nothing else, a more realistic approach just to keep us as a non-threat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I mean, I've heard that like Hiroshima and Nagasaki, after an A-bomb, it's supposed to be like just life can't even like exist there for like 100 years or something. And
right.
You look not, just a few years afterwards, the societies kind of moved back in there. And again, this isn't something I've studied up on, so my facts may be a little skewed.
If you know more about atomic or nuclear stuff, let us know. Like, we're not at all sitting here saying that this is all true. We're just discussing the idea. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, and like I said, there is videos out there of people just diving into these nuclear reactors, and it's just like a big old jacuzzi. So
that is something that, wow, that is. I'm going to look that up really quick, man. That's freaking wild. Changing subjects a little bit, not to, I mean, we can go right back to this conversation, but just while it's on my mind, because I can't believe we haven't discussed it yet. What's up with this Area 51 thing, man? Have you been seeing all of this?
Yeah,
These people?
man, I don't know what that's about. I mean, where did that start exactly? Who is, like, pushing this thing?
I don't know, but like, it's a lot of people have signed up. Let me see something here. Let me Google how many people have signed up to storm Area. I mean, it's a big number. I thought it had gotten over 1 million. 1.4 million people have signed up to storm Area 51. Number one, I don't think a majority of these people are even going to show up, but if they do, they realize, right, like, it's the government, and it's the most protected one. Well, I don't know if it's the most protected. I don't know government facilities, but we know they don't play when it comes to Area 51. I've watched tons of videos of people just riding like four-wheelers and dirt bikes just out in that area, and all of a sudden you'll have these white trucks like pull up and stop them and ask, "What are you doing here?" and yada yada, and they're very stern. Like, they don't play, man. I'm telling you, if the government don't want you to get in there, you ain't getting in. Yeah,
man. Like these celebrities, like Keanu Reeves, are those pictures?
They're not legit.
They're not legit. I was going to say, man, what are they going to do when some people get shot and killed and they were prepared? Anyway, okay,
the reason I know they're fake is people are taking the exact same photos, and now they're saying they're going to storm ice camps.
Yeah, no, I've seen those.
You know, and it's usually the same pictures that are being used. But no, I mean, like, I don't know. Do you think that anything's going to come of this?
No, I don't think so. But I mean, man, what if they're like hiding something that doesn't need to be released? And man, they freaking release a Kraken on the world. Oh, not a Kraken, but you know what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. Like CNN right here has a report and says the feds warn UFO enthusiasts against storming Area 51. The military stands ready, meaning they will kill you dead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they're not playing, man.
Yeah, man. I need to finish watching and I'm trying to find his name. The last Joe Rogan, well, not the last Joe Rogan podcast, but he was interviewing, what was the dude's name that worked at Area 51, and he basically said that it seemed like they were reverse engineering something. Excuse me. They had found in like an archaeological dig, something like that.
And at Area 51?
Yeah, like the Bob Lazar.
Oh, yeah, I didn't get a chance to really get into it because I just had stuff going on. But I actually started watching this. There's a documentary of him on Netflix talking about working at Area 51. I didn't really get but like 5 minutes into it. But you said you've listened to some of his stuff, right?
Yeah, well, I was listening to him on Rogan, and I said I need to go back and actually like watch the whole thing. I was a little stony that night and just kind of dozed off. But yeah, apparently he was talking about how the technology they were reverse engineering came from like some kind of like archaeological dig or something like that, and makes me wonder if maybe it came from Antarctica, exactly where they found this stuff. I don't know.
Right.
And if it came from out of this world, if maybe there was a civilization way before us that possessed this kind of technology, like human civilization. I don't know.
I don't, and I find that fascinating. The idea of like civilizations,
the lost civilization,
right? That were very advanced. Like what caused them to. Because that's what a lot of people used to think. Like with Atlantis, they thought Atlantis was like this very highly advanced human civilization and just got like what swallowed up. But some people I've read think that they did something. They activated some device, did something that caused them to sink into the ocean.
Well, we go through, is it the Kaiser Belt or something? We pass through a meteor belt like pretty regularly. I mean, a lot of people think it's just a global cataclysm caused by like meteors, kind of like what took out the dinosaurs. But
like meteors just came down and took them out?
Yeah, just decimated, man. But I mean, there's a lot of theories on what may or may not have happened, or if said civilization even existed, which I think there's enough evidence now to prove that it did. So,
man, you got some.
Excuse me for being so gassy.
I was gonna say, it sounds like some demons are coming out of your throat. The mic's picking all of that up. This is like,
oh God, I'm so sorry. Orange juice this morning. It gives me a little pep, but it's not low acid. So,
oh, you had some orange juice this morning?
Before I left the house. It's wreaking havoc. Oh.
Nice. My only issue is why didn't you bring me any orange juice?
Ugh. It doesn't feel good.
I don't know, man. Area 51 nuclear. Oh, that's what I pulled up YouTube. Swimming in nuclear reactor. I mean, would it be a reactor? I don't know. A nuclear cooling pool, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know the terminology, but it is very, very suspicious.
Well, here's a what if video that talks about what would happen if you swam in one. But
yeah, I've seen footage of this dude just like swimming around in it. Like I said, it's like a big old jacuzzi.
Now I can't find any videos of people just swimming around in it.
Yeah, so they probably jerked him off. I mean, they didn't jerk the guy off. I'm just saying they probably took the videos down. So I said, and I mean, want to keep us in constant fear. Is Iran going to nuke us or Kim Jong-un or whoever?
So this video right here is saying
you just fell into a pool.
It's talking about falling into it. This is and just to give credit for this video, this is by a channel called What If, and it's what if you fell into a spent nuclear fuel pool. So I'm interested to see what would happen of that. Though I'm sure you didn't tune in to listen to me watch a video, but so would you just say that this is a crock of BS too? If that, I mean, like maybe the government's behind like this video, just trying to dispel, like just make people scared.
Yeah, man. Well,
which just says spent. So spent nuclear fuel pools are designed to cool fuel rods after they come out of a nuclear reactor while powering a nuclear reactor. These fuel rods become very, very hot, about 2,800 degrees Celsius, 5,092 degrees Fahrenheit. After they spend 3 to 6 years inside of a nuclear reactor, fuel rods are no longer efficient. Problem is, they still emit plenty of harmful radiation, and they will for the next 10,000 years. Even though it's trash, there's not a garbage dump in the world that will accept it. So why is water a good place to put these things, and what would happen if you fell? Okay, so this is basically saying it's not like for an active. This is like for how they store the rods that they don't use anymore. Oh. But I mean, even still, I mean, I guess it's still. Why is the guy? It's the guy that just fell in is wearing an astronaut suit, though. I mean, like. Mm-hmm. Very interesting, but yeah, I'll look more into that.
Yeah, like I said, man, I mean, it's kind of like the Dr. Manhattan thing from The Watchmen. Just make the populace think they have this ultimate power to just decimate all life. And right. I mean,
make them think that we just have the power. If you get out of line, we can wipe you out.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess it is kind of a deterrent for, like another world war, which is, I guess, sort of a good thing. I mean,
fear-mongering is a good thing?
Well, I mean, just just something to keep governments in check from going to all-out world war.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You're saying that they're just, all saying they have it just to keep the other ones from not wanting to do anything because they might, Yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean, that's kind of like a Cold War tactic, right? Like, hey, we're not at war, but if you mess around, we'll wipe you off the face of the earth.
Right. And, all throughout the Cold War, I mean, they pretty much just exported, the war effort to these third world countries, just you back this one, we back this one, and, just pit them against each other.
War games. It's sad, man.
Yeah,
people
like
in power
Korea against South Korea,
The powers to be, they just play with our lives like they're pawns on a chessboard.
So it seems.
I don't know. Have you heard any good new conspiracy theories?
Nah, man. No, not I haven't really dove into much lately. I'm gonna figure out exactly what I want to research for next week, and we'll really dive deep. Do a deep dive.
You've said that before, so I hope that you have something next week. It's the first Woke Wednesday, so you have an obligation now to come in here with something to present and discuss.
Yeah.
I mean, it is more of a discussion than a presentation, but still have something that we can talk about. Do you have any ideas of what it is you're thinking is going to be the first conversation?
Well, I'd love for our listeners to chime in, throw something in the comments section that you think is compelling, maybe something we've touched on before.
We've talked about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I know
Ninth
everything
Circle.
from the global pedophile sex trafficking ring, flat earth, dinosaur hoax, space fraud, All kinds of stuff.
Yeah, let us know what you find the most interesting, and maybe that's what we'll make our first Woke Wednesday about. Speaking of the Ninth Circle, now this guy that was just arrested, this billionaire, I don't know his name off the top of my head. You know what I'm talking about? Billionaire that was arrested for like sex trafficking and stuff?
Yeah, that dude, yeah.
Is that part of, like, do you think that's part of the Ninth Circle?
Yeah,
or?
I'm sure, man. I mean, he's tied in deep with, like, the Clintons.
I was going to say, I know he's real big. And the Clintons and Trump, right? Wasn't he, aren't him and Trump friends?
I think they've had some dealings. I mean, he's like a New York tycoon guy, so I'm sure he's rubbed elbows with
Jeffrey
everybody.
Epstein.
But I know he's definitely like can contribute it to the Clinton Foundation.
This is from CNBC.com. Billionaire financier and registered sex offender Jeffrey Epstein was arrested Saturday in New York on new sex trafficking charges, including allegations that date to the early 2000s, according to law enforcement officials. An official said that Epstein is accused of paying underage girls for massages and molesting them at his home in Florida, or his homes in Florida and New York. The arrest comes amid renewed scrutiny of the once secret plea deal that ended federal investigation against him. Yeah. But I mean, if we're talking about sex trafficking, and this is a billionaire, wouldn't that fit the bill for that whole Ninth Circle thing? Like some of the world's wealthiest people?
Yeah, they're all tied in. I mean, not every single billionaire, but I'm just saying, I mean, it's a global elite that just love diddling little kids.
Yeah, his friends have included President Donald Trump, former President Bill Clinton, and Great Britain's Prince Andrew.
Yep.
So he's got friends in very high places.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like I said, he's definitely, I think it was said he contributed to, like, John Kerry's campaign, and it was a bunch of them on there. So
very interesting. Like I said, I wonder if that somehow circles into, well, the Ninth Circle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man. It's all tied in. Like I said, the royal family, man, they're big into it. All these high muckety muck.
Now, when you say the royal family, who are you talking? Like the Queen of England? I mean, is that what you're saying?
The royals of England, man. They love having sex with little kids.
I mean, I don't know that the Queen's having sex with anyone.
Shoot. Well, I mean, dude, it wouldn't surprise me, man. She was just sitting there watching little kids get, like, whipped with wet rags or something. I don't know. You know, I don't know.
Whipped with wet rags.
Yeah, whipped across the ass with a wet rag. Kind of like Jimmy Swaggart used to like.
Yeah, that's the British actor, right? The one that was...
No, that's Jimmy Savile. Jimmy Swaggart was like an evangelist who I think just got caught with prostitutes.
Oh, and who was the British guy I'm talking about?
Yeah, Jimmy Savile.
He was the one that, like, was revered by the government and beloved and was good friends with the royal family, right? And
yeah, he was involved in all these children's charities and all this stuff. And yeah, it turns out he was raping and peddling and probably murdering, I think, you know, all these little kids. And there's all kinds of pictures of him with the king, the queen, all these people. Royals, man, just like royalty in itself, man, just needs to go. I mean, that's such an outdated concept that we just keep around for what, you know?
Right.
So taxpayer dollars can pay for these royal weddings and all this ridiculous stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely a very outdated practice.
Like, we're not going to give them any power. We're just going to keep them around. And
I was going to say, because, Brad, I'm not, you know... Forgive me for being ignorant on this subject, but I'm not really 100% sure on how British government works. So who's technically the head honcho?
It's not much different from ours. Instead of a Congress, they have a parliament.
Right.
Instead of a president, they have a prime minister.
Right.
So it's not much different. They just, for whatever reason, have a king and a queen just hanging around. You know, just for shits and giggles.
Let's Google that. And any British listeners, because we do have some, you know, we do have quite a few British listeners. Let us know, because it's not that we're, you know, dogging British government. Like, I genuinely just don't understand how it works. Like, let us know, like, why do you still have a king and queen around? Which I don't have a king, right? King's dead, right? They don't have a king.
Oh, no.
They have the queen, and
I think Prince Harry will be the king when his mom, the queen, dies.
Let's see.
Pretty sure.
Let's Google this. Why does
Prince Harry? Is that right? Maybe not.
Prince Harry's the young one, right? Isn't that the one that just got married? I don't know. I didn't keep up with the royal wedding.
Yeah, who's the older guy?
I don't keep up with my friends' weddings. So.
Right.
Why does Britain still have a royal family? There you go. Let's Google that and see. Retaining the royals. Why is the British monarchy survived and thrived? And this is an article, just so that I give the credit for it. What site is this? Go away, Shady Rays. No, you cannot access my location. This is from History Extra, the official website for BBC History Magazine, BBC History Revealed, and BBC World Histories Magazine. From the millions, and this is reading right off the article, from the millions who tuned in to watch the televised wedding of Prince William and Kate Middleton. So William's the one that just got married in 2000. Oh, no, he's not.
I don't think he's going to be the king.
Prince William got married in 2011, and Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's son, blah, 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 blah,
I think their dad is the one who's in line to be king, like Princess Diana's husband, and I can't remember his name. I might be wrong. I don't know.
The royal family ride into the 21st century atop a tidal wave of British tradition. They represent, for better or worse, the nation's love affair with the past. Every time we see the Queen wearing a centuries-old crown walk through the Houses of Parliament to celebrate the even older deal struck between the Commons and the Crown, we reach for another digestive biscuit to dunk our mug of English breakfast tea. Okay, I don't know where they're going with that. In recent years, the theory has been modified to acknowledge the changes that have come to the British monarchy. The strength of our royals, so this theory runs, is that they are prepared to change when necessary. Yes, even their head, a queen who in 2016 celebrated her 90th birthday. She pays taxes. She sends a token tweet. She joins her grandson Harry to play a prank on the Obamas. Remember the opening ceremony of the Olympic Games? She even took part in a James Bond movie. There is, of course, much truth in both of these theories, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I'm getting lost on this. But anyways, so it's just kind of a traditional thing.
Yeah.
I want to be a king or queen. Like, if you don't have to actually really do anything but make appearances.
Yeah, man, I think they just kind of chill and go to, like, nonprofit stuff. And,
just go to their local United Way fundraising events.
And, buy and sell sex slaves.
Well,
like
that's maybe. Let's not make that accusation against the queen.
Yeah.
Well,
there's enough evidence.
Not censoring you. You can make that accusation, but let's wait until you have facts in front of you to make that accusation. You know what I'm saying?
It's never going to come out. But, I mean, there's enough evidence there for me to, just say that, yeah, I think the royal family are
give me some of this evidence, just so we back ourselves up and it don't sound like we're just shitting on the royal family.
Like I said, look at Jimmy Savile. I mean, he's chilling with them all the time, going to public affairs. I'm sure there's like WikiLeaks stuff out there somewhere.
But does hanging out with someone like that? And again, remember, I'm playing devil's advocate here. I don't have a dog in the fight, whether they are or not. I'm not defending that they're not, but I'm just going to play devil's advocate for the sake of conversation here. So remember that, playing devil's advocate. When somebody's like, Justin don't believe nothing. Justin needs to open his mind. I'm open to it, but I'm asking questions to get into this. But, you've hung out with people who have gone on to do some horrendous stuff, and that doesn't make you guilty by association. Your friend shot another dude in the dick over meth. What?
Yeah, but you're not going to find any pictures of us hanging out at my home. I never knighted him. I mean, this dude's been knighted. He operated with impunity for years.
Well, what about people that were friends with, like, Harvey Weinstein professionally, like were around him all the time, but didn't know that he was doing all of this behind the scenes?
Yeah, there's been tons of celebrities who've said, it's no secret what he was doing. It's just one of those things that you just look the other way and your career stayed on track,
So, aside from I wanted to say Henry Cavill. Superman is in there. No.
I'm sure he is.
But she's British too, right? Isn't he British?
Yeah.
But aside from just being friends with the royal family, because psychopaths, or what is it, psychopaths, sociopaths, one of them, or maybe not both, are really good at charming people and, putting on this facade of being this super, like Ted Bundy, they said was extremely charming and just came off as this great guy, but secretly he was murdering. So, I mean, like, some people probably were really good friends with Ted Bundy and didn't realize what he was doing. What else do you have aside from he was around the royal family to tie them to child sex trafficking?
No, man. It's much more than friendship. Like I said, he was knighted. They had him in deep with all these different child organizations, and he just got away with it for years. They kept him out of trouble. I mean, they're all tied in. Man.
So are there things to show that they've gotten him out of trouble? Like, are there instances?
I don't have like a dossier in front of me.
See, that's why I was saying let's get some information to throw, because right now all I'm hearing is that they're guilty by association. They were around someone or good friends with someone who
I think the royal family's in bed with you now. I'm getting suspicious of you, brother.
Are you?
I think they've got you, on the payroll.
A royal family. I haven't received any payment yet, and I actually just got a call that it's going to cost $500 and something to fix my car. So
very, very
Queen, you need to pay up.
Very convenient that your mechanic had a British accent.
Yeah, right. If by British you mean deep Southern. So we looked, and what it seems to be is you got a sensor under your dash, not telling your AC to kick on.
Everybody knows that the British are the best at playing Southerners. So
that is true. Oh my God!
Thick Rick Grimes draw ain't fooling me.
But they right there. You just got yourself in a. You just said he had a British accent. Now you're saying he did have a Southern accent, but you don't believe it.
Well, I can just see through it, That's what I hear through it.
But I'm saying, like, to accuse someone of that is, and I'm not saying that you're not right or that I don't believe it to be true. I always think the power. I mean, Game of Thrones is an excellent character study of like what people in power do behind the scenes and what they get away with, and just So I mean, I totally believe that, that the Queen and then the royal family is not innocent of doing bad things. But I'm saying if we're going to accuse someone of being in a child sex trafficking ring, which is quite possibly one of the most despicable things someone could be involved with, I feel like you need more to throw out there than they were friends with the guy.
I'll get some more examples.
So I'm not shutting it down and saying you're wrong. I'm saying get some evidence or get some bullet points, and I would like to hear them. You know what I'm saying? Open my mind up. I'm not saying I won't believe it. I'm just saying in order to get it, I need more. I need to hear more than they were friends with a bad person.
They were a little bit more than friends.
We've all had friends and invited people into our house, and we don't know what they're doing when they're not around. I mean, like look at our good. Well, you know what? That's a bad example. I'm not even going to use that because I like them too much. But we know people that we can.
You're going to have to tell me who you're talking about.
We know people that we think the world of, and they seem like the best of people, and we know them in a professional setting. But we hang out with them a lot. We're seen in public with them, yada yada yada. But we don't know what they do at night. We don't know what kind of secret dealings they've got. You don't really
have the resources of like the royal family. I mean, I would think they have their finger on the button pretty hard. I mean,
well, if they're paying me off, I do.
Well, yeah, that's true as well.
But yeah, I want more. Maybe that could be the topic. If you want to hear more about why JP believes the royal family is in bed with child sex trafficking, comment that in the comment section so he'll do some research and come back on next Wednesday with some bullet points. I want you to convince me.
Here's an article in Time magazine: England, land of royals, tea, and horrific pedophilia cover-ups.
All right, there you go. Now that's what I'm talking about. Now give me some points.
I'm just skimming through the article. But
Skim through, and get me some points.
This it goes, to all. It reaches all through there. I mean, that's probably their biggest export.
Well. You got an article in front of you. Find a point. Find a date, a time, an example. Give me something. There's got to be something in that article. Because I doubt they wrote the article like you would and just were like, the royal families hung out with shady people. I think they're child sex trafficking. End of article.
Well, I said there's it's not just a coincidence that he went that he was protected for all those years.
And you think that you're real big on thinking the Clintons are tied into this thing too, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of evidence the Clintons are as well.
You talking Hillary and Bill, or more just Bill?
Yeah, just that, it's been
is Hillary just kind of there because it's her husband, or do you think they're both profiting from it?
Yeah, of course. I mean, the Clinton Foundation, funneling kids out of Haiti and all this kind of stuff.
Right.
I mean,
good Lord, man, you got a demon coming up out your throat.
Yeah. Jimmy Savile, BBC children's television presenter, feted by the royal family in Downing Street, abused 450 victims, mostly boys and girls as young as 8 years old, for over 50 years. So I mean, feted by the. You're saying he was so like good at covering his tracks. He was feted by Downing Street and the royal family, but for over 50 years he abused probably 500 victims. Now, I think that's more than just circumstantial evidence. That's all I'm saying.
But is there anything aside from him? I'm asking. Like, basically, I just keep hearing him. But are there any other associations or dealings that they've been tied to that raises more flags, or does it all come back to this one guy?
Let's see. Royal family member was investigated as part of a pedophile ring before cover-up, ex-cop says. I mean, it's all kinds of stuff. I mean, a member of the royal family was claimed to be part of a suspected pedophile ring under investigation by police in the late 1980s.
Now, which member of the royal family?
I don't know if it's going to say. I was in a car with 2 other vice squad officers. The detective sergeant said he had just had a major child abuse investigation shut down by the CPS regarding a royal and an MP.
And I do totally, again, for those screaming at me behind the thing, like, you're so close-minded. Again, I'm playing devil's advocate for the sake of conversation. If I wasn't asking these questions and we were just saying, here's what it is, it's not as interesting of a conversation. And 2, I don't know much about it, and I was always taught if you don't know much about something, you don't talk about it until you do know. So I'm asking these questions to learn so that if I make the claim that I believe the royal family is in bed with pedophiles, that I have something to back myself up with and not just, well, that's what I've heard, so I believe it.
Right. Well, like I said, I mean, there's a plethora of evidence out there. This isn't just, like 4chan gossip.
Did you find which member? Because, I mean, I believe, all right, here's a good example, and this is why, it's a cartoon, but it speaks to reality. Remember in Rick and Morty, and yes, this is a spoiler for one of the early seasons. If you haven't watched it yet, I can't help you. It's been out for a while. Remember, what was it, King Jellybean?
Yeah.
Remember when he tried to rape Morty? You know what I'm talking about? JP's digging through his phone right now. All right, so he tried to rape Morty, right? And Morty got away. And remember when Rick shot him, came back through the portal and shot King Jellybean and killed him? And then later they found a shoebox with all these horrific pictures of him molesting children? Mm-hmm. And remember how they were like, destroy it. Let them remember the idea of King Jellybean, not the man he actually was. I believe that. I believe that, if a member of the royal family was in some kind of affiliation with pedophilia, that the government would be like, keep this down. We need the public to adore and love. You know what I mean? Like, the royal family needs to be something they love, and it brings them together. They don't need to tarnish that image for fear of backlash and what the repercussions it could have. So I totally think things like that get covered up.
Like I said, man, it's a lot out there. It's a lot of Prince Andrew implicated, royal families being dragged back into the Jeffrey Epstein pedophile scandal. As a photo of the Queen's son, Prince Andrew, with an alleged underage prostitute, is listed as an exhibit in a new U.S. court case. Below is a picture of Andrew with Epstein.
So Prince Andrew was in a picture with an underage girl.
Yeah.
What kind of picture? Were they intimate? Were they just walking?
Well, I mean, it's not just an underage girl. She's like a prostitute. Victims of Epstein testified in a Florida courtroom yesterday. Below is a picture of Prince Andrew with Virginia Roberts, one of Epstein's accusers, and victim of billionaire Jeffrey Epstein. The photograph shows blah 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 blah.
Look at Google censoring here. I'm trying to Google British royal family and pedophilia.
All right, this Roberts girl claims that she was forced to have sex with Epstein and then loaned out to have sex with his friends, including Prince Andrew. A Buckingham Palace spokesperson stated, "It is emphatically denied by the Duke of York," yada, 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 yada.
So, check this out. Do you think this is censoring right here? All right, listen. So I'm trying to Google British royal family and pedophilia, right? Mm-hmm. And it'll you know how when you type into Google, it auto finishes your answer?
Yeah.
It will find everything until I start typing pedophilia. Then it doesn't give me any suggestions, even though I guarantee you there's articles out here. Let's see. England, land of royalty. That's the one you just pulled up. That was from Time. Was that Time Magazine?
Yeah.
Time Magazine reported on the royal family being tied into pedophilia?
Yeah, like I said, I mean, it's not really a big secret at this point.
Oh, wow. Fraudulent expenses, phone hacking. So, again, keep in mind, I'm learning here. I might, by the end of this, I might completely agree with JP. But the reason I ask these questions is because I want to know. I mean, whenever you have these big conspiracy theories, I want evidence to back up what I'm thinking. Pedophilia, Satanism, and the British royal family. Satanism. Holy hell, we are getting into some schnit here. If we don't podcast tomorrow, you know why. Oh, wow, there's a whole... have you found this article right here? This is on Scribd.com. Is that where you were? It's got a ton of pedo practice. I mean, like this is I need to send you this if you're not on this one. This is just got tons of articles. It's got one called pedo practices of the British royal family. Philip and his pimp, the crazed, the Profumo affair of the Thursday Club, stolen 4 Scottish children. What is with the royal family and dead bodies?
Yeah, there's some sick monkeys, man.
Prince Philip's secret affairs, Prince Philip's dirty little secrets, crown of thorns. She told the Queen about Philip and paid for it. Prince Charles' child rapist, Jimmy Savile, woolly buggers. I don't even know what that is. Okay, yeah. So, wow. Okay, so there's a whole list of things here. So, cool. I'm going to read up on this in the next week and then come back next week. I'll let you know what I think.
Yeah, Jimmy Savile's pretty much the only one that I think they've actually been able to bring to light and say, yeah, this is what this guy was doing.
Yeah, I had
it was
read
covered
about
up,
him.
and I mean, a lot of them are still, out there. And because it wasn't until after he died that they were able to expose him.
That's what I had read was that, it was one of those things where up until his death, he was very beloved and considered to be like an icon. But then after he dies,
yeah,
all of a sudden they're able to bring all these horrific things to light.
Yep.
I don't know, man. What a crazy world we live in. I really wish they could bust all of these pedophiles and sex traffickers, man.
No, I mean they've been busting more in the last couple of years than in a long, long time.
But I'm talking like high profile ones, though.
I mean, they're as more stuff's coming to light. Hopefully, more top people will be brought down. I don't know.
And JP is the one that's going to bring them down. He's leading the charge. But yeah, if you've got any links or anything, enlighten me. I love to be enlightened. That's why I want to do these conspiracy podcasts. I don't go into them as enthusiastic as JP, but I'm always open-minded to the reality that we live in. I don't think everything is peaches and cream. I think that there are powers that manipulate. I think horrific things get covered up. People of powerful positions do things, and they usually suffer no consequences. So, I mean, I'm definitely open to the idea that this could be a thing. I just want to make sure that I'm sorry to keep repeating myself, but just sometimes, I say these things and then people still go in like, how can you not believe? Like, I'm not saying I don't believe. I'm saying I need to be convinced. I need evidence.
Yeah, man. Well, it's just, when you look at so much stuff that has come out that's been declassified, I mean, Operation Northwoods or the Tuskegee experiments. I mean, there's so much that's come out that's just, disgusting. So, I mean, it's easy to believe this other stuff. I mean,
just like I told you that it's been declassified that over like Chicago or some American city, they released thousands of mosquitoes infected with yellow fever just to see how easily they could spread disease. Like they tested that on their own people.
Yep.
I mean, isn't that why everybody hated Saddam Hussein so bad? Was for, attacking his own people? Which, I mean, I'm not comparing the United States government to Saddam Hussein. Saddam Hussein obviously did some horrific shit, but I'm just saying, testing on your own people. Didn't he test chemical weapons on his own people?
The people of Kuwait.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, there's definitely forces within our government that are equally as sadistic. I mean, like I said, there's what you call breakaway governments, just criminal elements within our government. It's like the CIA. There's been so many CIA agents exposed for bringing over cocaine, from Central America. And that's not to say that the CIA itself is in the cocaine business, but there's cowboys in there that are absolutely in
Now, see, that I believe, and I completely agree with. It's kind of, it's you know what? The movie Captain America Winter Soldier really kind of brings that to light, how you can have hidden sects of government, you know what I'm saying? Like government agencies that are kind of rogue and doing these evil things, and the government's not aware of it, you know what I'm saying? Or the main, we say the government as if it's just like one entity. And that's the thing, too. The government is made up of lots of different entities, you know what I mean? So, and within each of these entities, you can have rogue sex. Rogue, yeah. You can have rogue, agents and people that are operating and doing, just like how you have some police stations where certain cops are paid off by criminal elements, but the entire police department's not paid off. It's just certain cops, and then the head honchos are completely oblivious to it. So yeah, I totally believe that.
Yeah, I mean, it's out there, man. And you do have to be careful with information. I mean, you end up with situations like the, what was it? The Sandy Hook parents, like people, believe in all the conspiracy theories and harassing the parents of the victims. So, I mean, you do have to, be careful with how you disseminate information. But it's a dark, deep hole, man.
Well, that's just like the WDBJ7 thing, man. People, people here were saying, people around our area was saying that the WDBJ7 shooting up at Smith Mountain Lake, Allison Parker, and Adam, they were saying that was hoax or a false flag to advocate for gun control and stuff. And it's like, dude, that happened. Like, we knew her. Like, that's. I mean, I've worked around her. Like, that's legit. That's not a conspiracy. So that's another reason why I say I really want to make sure I have my facts before, because I remember, I'll never forget, and I don't care if he listens to this podcast, he was a dickhead. Mm-hmm. This guy that I know, I went to high school with him, and he's one of these that's just grown up. And I mean, he's one of these whack job conspiracy theorists. Mm-hmm. Literally everything from the coffee you drink to the pavement you walk on has some kind of conspiracy behind it. Yeah. Keep in mind, this guy is homeless by choice.
Okay, I know who you're talking about.
He refuses to blah 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 blah. I'm not going to launch into a big campaign. And at his core, he's a nice, good guy. I know he means well. He's just kind of like a lost child in a way. But this guy basically got on Facebook and was talking about how this whole shooting in Smith Mountain Lake was fake. Mm-hmm. And then he said something about this bitch, blah, blah, blah. And I told him, I said, dude, what? Like, if I was close enough to him, that might have gotten... You're calling a girl who was murdered on live television. I mean, her family, her friends, her coworkers. I see them all every day in tears dealing with this. This happened. This is legit. In fact, one of my good friends, a reporter for Channel 7, I thought it was her at first. Mm-hmm. And I can't explain how horrific it is to think you just watched a good friend get gunned down on live TV. Like, I thought it was her because someone sent it to me and said, I think, I won't say her name on here, but got shot at this morning. And I watched the video, and the first video that came out was kind of blurry, and it was like recorded on a computer from a cell phone. And I thought it was her. I had messaged her and said, oh my God, are you okay? Like, what happened? Blah, 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 blah. And then so like when he said that, I left him a long, hateful message. And I usually don't do Facebook beef. Like, I hate it. There's so many people that have said smart things. And my initial response is, to tell them to go fuck themselves, or to, be like, yeah, you wouldn't say this if I was standing right. You know what I mean? But my professional persona, I have to be like, I didn't mean to make you feel disrespected. I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. But like with him, man, I just went off record and was just like, watch who you call a bitch, you ignorant piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, this girl did die. This was real. This isn't a hoax. This isn't a false flag. She's dead. Her family is mourning. Her coworkers and her friends are mourning. This is horrific. People are dealing with a loss right now, and they've got jackasses like yourself saying these things. And so because of situations like that, that's why I'm so thorough and like, let me make sure I've got my research before I go spouting that something is or isn't real.
And man, sometimes like the government, kind of like the FBI, how they would infiltrate the Ku Klux Klan, which by the way, I'm not, awful organization, but sometimes they would infiltrate and instigate them into violence. Just like now, sometimes the FBI will instigate like Muslim communities into violence. Sometimes they'll create stuff like this. Like they'll start like a false flag rumor to get it to snowball to make right wingers look crazy.
Well, just like the whole Ariel thing, saying that everybody's so upset that and all these people are sharing these memes about Ariel being black, but. They had a study recently, and only 16% of Americans had an issue with it, and only half of that 16% said they have a slight issue with it, but it's nothing that they consider a big deal.
Right.
So a very, very small percentage of the population, I mean, a tiny microscopic percentage, have an issue with that. The rest of us don't care. Disney's been doing these remakes, and they're making changes. Mulan is not going to have Mushu in it. And we know they're going to be different. So they cast an African-American girl to play Ariel. Okay, cool. I'll watch the movie. I'm sure she'll do it.
I'm not going to watch it. I didn't really like it.
I'm with you on that. Like, my thing is, I really didn't get into The Little Mermaid as a cartoon.
Live-action Disney stuff.
I was a Lion King, Toy Story, which I guess that's not really something they'll do a live-action remake of. But, like, I liked Aladdin. I didn't watch the Beauty and the Beast remake because I never was really that into Beauty and the Beast. But You know, I mean, you're a little boy. We were into more like Aladdin and stuff like that. But, you know, but the thing is, everybody was coming out with these memes, and some people were saying, like, no, this is what the press and stuff do. They make something look like a big deal to get tension going over something. Like, you know, like you said, trying to create like some racial tension where there is none.
Yeah. Yeah, they totally do that. Like the FBI will find, you know, Muslim guys online who lean a little bit more radical, and then, you know, contact them and be like, hey, I've got a bazooka. You want to go blow up that post office, and just bait them, which, I mean, if they're willing to do that, you know, that's a whole other can of worms. So I'm just saying, I mean, they, you know, they'll manipulate people and events for their own. Well,
and that's the thing too with this guy. Like, he wasn't even claiming, you know, if he was to claim that the government was behind them being killed, the news reporters, going back to the Allison and Adam thing, if he was saying like the government, some rogues, you know, government agency made that happen in order to push gun control. That's one thing, but like he was claiming that she wasn't really dead. She was an actress, blah, blah, blah. You can tell from this angle she didn't even get shot, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, dude, just like.
No,
you know.
I totally believe in like Manchurian candidates, people that like sleeper cell kind of people that they, you know, get to do this horrific stuff.
Oh yeah, now that's some. I've read some stuff on that. That's some pretty interesting.
Like the Las Vegas shooter at that country concert, and there's a lot of wild stuff, man. Like video stuff you can look for the Charlottesville thing.
Yeah, I was looking at the Las Vegas thing when that came out, and the people were presenting some pretty interesting things. Like the stuff I saw wasn't so much that it was like government orchestrated as it was like there were multiple shooters, and
right, you
know, like there was blah blah blah. It was some wild stuff, man. And that's the scary thing, is the government has the power to cover stuff like that.
Yeah, and they can totally get patsies, you know, to make it look like the perpetrator and yada yada yada. So
yeah.
Yeah, who's to say, man? Like I said, we'll dive deep into some stuff.
Nope. So I guess that's going to wrap up this podcast. We almost went an hour today.
Yeah, and as we said, as we go towards our first Woke Wednesday podcast, leave a suggestion, stuff you'd like us to cover. You know, if we don't do it next week, we'll definitely get to it. And
Yeah, and we'll like I said, consider subscribing if you like podcasts, and follow us on social media. I'll give you mine first because it's so much easier than JP's. Mine is all one name. It's I'm Justin Lloyd, all lowercase, no apostrophes, spaces, 2 L's in Lloyd. Just I'm Justin Lloyd, all like one big word, to get you my Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and Periscope, though I don't really use Periscope as much as I should. JP, let them get yours.
Yeah, Jpslim on Periscope and Snapchat, and J_Radsaw on Instagram.
And JP really doesn't use any of them, but hopefully he'll get back on his Periscope game, because I thoroughly enjoyed your Periscope.
Yeah, a lot of it's just like I said, I've got like 5 gigs of data now, so
right,
unless I'm at home, it's, you know,
harder to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll catch you tomorrow for Mail Call. Don't forget, if you want to save Mail Call, head on over now to our Mail Call podcast from last week, or you can comment on this one. Just make sure to hashtag it Mail Call so we'll see it. But ask us your question and let us know, you know, what you want to hear from us. And like JP said, please, please, please let us know which conspiracy you want us to dive into first, so that JP can do his research and be ready to rock.
Yeah, you into the pedophiles, you into the flat earth, you don't think dinosaurs are real, just, you know.
That's one I want you to dig into, man. I'm very interested in the fake dinosaur thing.
Oh, yeah, dude. It's pretty interesting. Like I said, we'll pick one.
Vote fake dinosaurs.
The broader topic with that is just social engineering, you know, the big lie, whether it's space fraud or fake dinosaurs or flat earth. Like, that's the overarching topic.
Right.
So.
Yeah, vote dinosaurs. I want to know more about the dinosaur fraud. I think that's fascinating. But anyways, we'll catch you tomorrow. I'm Justin.
And I'm JP.
And we're the Podcasting Dead.